Hello, hello, hello. Can I chat? Show people. Where's the chat? Hi. Can you hear me?
Hi.
You can hear me?
Can you hear me, Juju?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
No, I can't hear you.
Babe!
Who's that in the car?
Hi
Ask
guys, I'm so
ask
sorry.
Daddy to
I'm
come
having
up.
some issues with
Ask
my
Daddy.
car. So I'm
Mic check, mic
driving to
check,
my
mic check.
parents. I'll be there like in 15 minutes.
Okay.
But meanwhile,
They
I was
can't hear me,
thinking
but
I'll
look,
put
it's
myself
showing.
on mute and I'll be listening in the background without participating.
Okay.
Dude, you're not using the
Okay.
right thing. It's the mic in.
Oh. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear
Okay.
you now, Juju.
Okay,
Okay.
you
Keep
guys are in
going.
the car. Okay. Aw. Drive safely.
But their audio that's not coming through here.
Their audio's not coming in. Hmm.
Hi, Eric.
Hola.
So it's not going in here?
Yeah, you see it's not moving, right?
Yeah.
So you gotta check your source.
Oh,
Go to the
where?
audio right
Here?
here.
Go here. Can I do?
Well, it's supposed to be out of your headphones. You don't have it out of the headphones, right?
Yeah. It does it have to be?
No, you don't have to.
Yeah.
But that's why it's doing it that way. So
So-
go up. That one.
This one.
Yeah.
Auntie, can you say something?
Hello.
Perfect. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
A1 tech support. I'm telling you.
And it's free.
I know.
Let grandma say hi.
Come over here. Come over here.
How are you?
Hi, sweetie.
I think there's some feedback though.
There's some feedback. I can echo.
From whoever this 917 number is, it's whenever they say something, it kind of is echoing. Like they might have two devices on or something.
Oh. I don't know the numbers. All right. All right. 6:34. I think Emmanuel is frozen. We have two people driving, right? Shanae, you're driving too?
Am I frozen?
Yes, you're frozen. We have a
She's not
great.
frozen on my screen.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
For me, she's frozen. I
Moving
have a
her hands
great.
around and touching her glasses. And
So
smiling.
weird. Technology is interesting.
I
Maybe
I
I'll
do
come
hear
out.
the echo though.
You do hear the echo? For me?
Yeah,
For everyone?
Yeah, I hear that echo too.
yeah. It's like I speak and then it continues.
Oh, for yourself.
But I
Okay.
think I'm not the only one hearing it. But
Yeah, I don't hear an echo.
okay.
I hear an echo when she speaks. There's a lot going on.
Is
I'm
it
I'm
very
too.
distracting?
Like, a little bit.
Okay.
It is, and I can hear it from you as well. Let me call back.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, it's like everything she says, it repeats right after.
Oh, that's so weird how I don't hear it. Oh, I see you now. Okay. Hello,
Okay.
Ah, now you
gorgeous.
see me,
Yes.
and there is a little less echo.
Are you on two devices?
I'm not. I'm not.
You're not.
It's
I can't push.
interesting.
No, let me. No, I'm not.
It's
Okay.
still echoing.
And you still hear
I'll stop
echo?
talking.
Yeah, I can still hear it.
Okay. We will do our best. Um, okay. So,
The echo might be from you.
from me?
Well, you have the audio coming out of the TV, and then you have your microphone right there. So So anybody that speaks, they're probably hearing it double because it's coming out of here, so you can hear it, and then
And that's
probably
why I don't hear it?
That's probably why you. Don't
Okay,
hear it,
let's go
yeah.
back to headphones then.
Yeah, that's the reason why we use the.
Wait, don't go anywhere then. Wait. So,
Don't leave us, Eric.
here. Yeah, because that's kind of annoying. I don't want them to do the echo thing. So, I'm going to go back to headphones then.
Mhm.
This one?
Yeah.
And then they're both hooked up already?
Because you just got to make sure that this is set to the headphones.
Oh, yeah, this one. And then speakers is headphones?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's see. Hello?
I don't hear nothing.
You don't hear nothing?
Nothing.
Hello.
No.
Okay.
Here.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Eric knew there's no more echo.
Oh yes,
Yeah, no
he's
echo.
he's the best.
Tell him not
He
to go
knows
too far.
everything. He solves
Thank
all
you,
my
Eric.
problems. Thank you, babe.
Thank you.
All right, problem solved.
It was Julie all along.
I was ready to take the blame, but
Thank you.
Yeah, because
Thank you.
last week
Of
she
course.
took the blame.
Aw.
Well, didn't you take the blame last week
No, we weren't on
Something
last week. We
or
would.
the week before?
Oh, I don't know. She's
Yeah,
I'm
she's
good at it.
something.
I can take the blame.
um. Hi. How are you?
Hello.
Good.
Good. How are you?
Mike, right?
Yep.
How was everyone's week?
Long.
Yeah, long. So, some of us read all of chapter 2, some of us read some of it, some of us none of it. And I just want to remind all of us to be kind to yourselves. And we're just kind of taking this journey together, but not simultaneously all of the time. And that's okay, like wherever you are in the journey. I hope that this never becomes like a source of like stress or something. It's not homework where we have to turn submissions in by deadline or something.
Right.
So I thought Adriana was gonna join us, but I know she was moving today, so maybe things didn't go according to plan, such as life. So let's just take a moment for those of us who are driving. You will not close your eyes. For those of us who can close our eyes or maybe just lower your gaze. And I just want to take a moment to get us to be present in this moment as we share this next hour together and just start to notice your breath coming in and out. And let's start to deepen our breath. Inhaling, filling your lungs up, filling yourself all the way up into your collarbone. And we're going to slowly release that breath, nice and slow. And as you inhale, filling yourself up to your collarbone, slowly releasing that breath. And if you can imagine with your inhale, sending the energy from your body up into the universe for cleansing and clarity, and bringing that back down into your body and into the earth for foundation and focus. Inhaling, bringing that energy up into the universe for cleansing and clarity, and bringing that energy back down into your body and then into the earth for foundation and focus.
Sorry, that was me.
One last final cleansing inhale, filling yourself up. And as we slowly exhale, bringing that energy back down, grounding the energy for foundation and focus. Return to your normal breathing pattern. Open your eyes if you were able to close them. And maybe give yourself some stretches, maybe extending your arms out wide, maybe crossing one arm over the other. I know many of us carry tension in our shoulders and in our traps and in our neck. Maybe we can allow our head to fall forward, chin to chest, and a slow head circle to the right and then to the left. All right. Hola.
There she is.
So we just completed a short breathing exercise and some stretching, and it's 6:42, so we were gonna hop into our discussion. So one of the things that kind of changed for the moment is that because these chapters are pretty lengthy and there is a lot to discuss, we're gonna test out just hold it, and then there is more of us as well, not reading together and holding space to just discuss and reflect. So this will be the
Oh,
second week. So last week, Angelica and Lizzie led it this way. We're gonna lead it this way again and just kind of get people's feedback on what you think. I personally do love reading together, but because these chapters are pretty lengthy and they're not as easy to get through as the first book that we did. Um, we're all at different stages of even chapter two. Um, I think I would like see how this week goes, and then next week explore at least starting the next chapter together. Like even if
that's
we
what I was gonna
read
say.
one paragraph each, that'll probably get us. Yeah, go ahead, Tara.
I was thinking maybe we could like read for like 20 minutes
Okay.
together, like a block of time,
Yeah.
and then to at least get into the chapter and then read the rest independently or something because they are kind of long. I
Yeah.
agree with
So
you
there's
on
no way
that.
we could read together. I mean, unless we had the time to read together. Go ahead, Adriana.
I wanted to ask, and apologies on my delay. I'm moving today. Yeah, I wonder if me sending the reflection questions like on a Wednesday ahead, would that help people kind of like have, like a reminder and help them with reading? Or do we still prefer to read like, because like today the reflection questions were sent the day of, but like let's say if I start sending them on a Wednesday, for example, for Sundays, would that work? Just because they're so dense. Like when I read it on Wednesday, it is really long. Like chapter two was not light. So I'm wondering if there's like a happy medium.
Okay, so two things we need to there that's two things. So whether or not we read together or not and what that would look like. And then when do we want reflection questions sent? Does it help to send them days ahead of time or the day of? So that's like two questions we're asking.
Hmm.
I
Yeah,
would
because I'm
say in advance the questions to give us a bit more time.
Okay. So like
sure.
Wednesday, midweek. Okay.
For
And
me,
I'll
it
do
really
smart stuff.
depends on what the week looks like. It really doesn't matter if you sent the questions on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday or Saturday. It really depends on what the week looks like because I'm going to read when I can get it in, whether I have the questions or not. Um,
Right.
so either way, whenever you send them is fine with me.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Yes, same
Um
with
Go ahead, Emmanuel.
no, same the reflection question. I mean, they're great when we can have them, but but yeah, whenever you can, um, in the morning on Sunday is great too.
Okay. Hi Erin, how are you?
Hey all, very good.
So two questions we're asking of the group. Because these chapters are pretty dense, long, we wouldn't be able to read them all together like we did for the introduction. So whether or not we reserve all of our meeting time just for reflection and discussion, or do we reserve some of the time for reading some of the next chapter together, even though we won't finish that chapter together?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the reading together. It seems to take a long time, and I like more the reflection or questions that we can answer about it. But I don't have a good voice, so I don't like to read. But it just seems I
I
don't know.
actually
I'm
enjoy
I'm
your
not.
voice, Mike, I will say. I actually enjoy, to be honest, like I would listen to an audiobook if you did it. So I'm
Well,
thinking there's a happy medium somewhere, like where it's not a lot. I think if we go around and read, if we one time, because with the introduction we went around, I think everyone read at least 3 times. So I think if we went around one time, everyone read 2 paragraphs just one time, and then that's the time that we have to just for reading and allocate the rest of the time for reflection and discussion. So at least we start the chapter together, and we kind of know what's to come. I think that's a balance between everyone's preferences without consuming so much of the time with reading. And everyone gets a little bit of what they're coming here for. Is that a
Sounds good.
consensus? Yeah, yeah. Because if we're 6, 7, 8, 9, that's a good amount of reading, but that's not even a dent into a chapter.
Yeah, I think like carving out a 10 to 15 minute time block for it
Mm-hmm.
max, so
Mm-hmm.
that folks can get opportunities to reflect. Because it's only an hour.
Yeah.
I like that.
Okay, so for today, because we've spent some time trying to figure this out, we won't start reading together, but we'll allocate time for next week to um, read. What I would suggest is, because we never know what anyone has to say, is that we allocate the first 15 minutes for reading the next upcoming chapter, and then the rest of the time we'll reflect both on what we read independently and what we read together. So that would be 45
Julie.
minutes, 45 minutes of reflection and discussion, however that flows in the group.
Hey, Julie.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just want to say something. I
Yes.
want to understand. Since the episodes are so long, am I to understand that we're just gonna read 15 minutes from whatever we can make it, and then we're gonna stop and start the discussion?
Yes. So, for example, we would be starting chapter 3 this week. So wherever you are in chapter 2 up until chapter, like, we'll do our best for you to read chapter 3. And then next Sunday we will just begin chapter 4, and we'll read for 15 minutes together chapter 4. Wherever that ends up, like wherever we end up in chapter 4 within the first 15 minutes, we'll stop there and then leave the rest of the time for reflection and discussion.
All right. Thanks for clarifying, because they're
Yeah.
pretty long. So
Yes.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. All right, everyone. So we'll just go into discussion today. Let me pull up what I shared earlier. Chapter 2. All right, so just for a summary, chapter 2 was about the present moment being the gateway for change. When we move beyond the predictable self anchored in past experiences, we enter the field of infinite possibilities. So our first discussion question was, where can you identify a thought loop that takes over your day, either when you wake up or a reaction to a person's environment, to a person or environmental trigger? Does anybody want to start?
Well, I mean, I can relate to the fact that we have rituals that we wake up and words that we say, and I forever catch myself like, wow, it's like a rerun. I do this all the time, and I found that enlightening to the ritual of rehearsing your day in your mind, kind of predicting it, and I never really thought of it as being stuck in the past. But after I read it, I thought, that's true. I really am setting myself up for the day before. And I think that falls into a lot of rituals that, like, you start living for the weekends, or you start living for vacation or whatever. And the reality is, it's our own thoughts that are controlling our reality, or lack of thoughts or new thoughts. Yeah, I found it interesting.
Anyone else want to share?
I'd like to piggyback. Oh, go ahead.
No, no, go for it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'd like to piggyback off of that. That was my reflection question. And so when I was reading the chapter, I realized a lot of times the environmental triggers, like even if you feel a really good, like you're in the present, you're trying your best to just like apply your healing rituals day to day, that thought loop, the specific thought loop, that loop that's in figure 2-1 in the chapter, and later on folks can look at it, it's like this autopilot. Just like when we leave our hair straightener on or like the iron or something in the house and you're driving, you're like, oh, did I turn it off? Like that. Oh,
I do
and
that all the
9 out of 10, it's automatic. You turned it off, the house is not burning down,
time.
right? But once again, this is applicable for like, oh, I'm in this environment where I don't feel safe. And it's like, no, actually, presently today, I am safe. I'm just in this thought loop from the past because this environment triggers my past. So that was refreshing because it invited the unknown in the present.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, at some point he even says when someone says to him, "Well, I just lost someone," in the book, he's like, "Well, good, because then you're going to be able to like depart on a completely different level because there's a disruption in your life that actually breaks the rewiring, which is kind of intense. So it's like looking at events in your life that are disruptive at something that is actually calling you back to be present and to be aware." That rewiring, I realized something is like there are different emotions or different people that have taught me anxiety, which I never had before. But there's one event in my life that made me feel that anxiety for, and I did not understand it. But it's interesting because it's in my body, and now there are different people or different situations that have awakened. They wake up that same sensation, that same anxiety, which I had never had before. So really, the questions from the first week or so, just looking at those emotions and be like, okay, where are they coming from, and how can I transform it? And but at least be aware that I've been taught, and it's wired in my body, but I can change that by remembering that it was taught by different situation and different people, but it's and it's all holding me in the past as well. So yeah.
Yeah. One thing I noticed lately is when people ask me, how are you? I have to stop and think about it. It's been a very interesting thing. I don't, it's for like maybe 6 months now. It's been happening. I'm like, this is so interesting where I cannot just give an answer. I'm like, how am I doing? And I started to think about it, and I'm like, oh, in the past, I think that I spent a lot of time in like putting out fires and like in stress, in trauma, that now life is a little bit more calmer and I it feels not normal, and I'm like not sure how I'm feeling. It's so weird.
The unknown. Yeah, like the unknown. That's what you're describing.
Yeah.
I always like it when the salutation when you meet somebody. Hey, how you doing? I can't help but be weird when people ask me that. I always say like, I'll pick a word. Hey, I'm wonderful. They're like, really? You're wonderful? I said, yeah, I wonder what I'm full of. It just, yeah, it, it, it just, it
I
has to
love
break
that.
up that, hey, how you doing? Yeah, I'm fine. And, you had the worst day of your life. But, if you say something like, yeah, I'm wonderful. And they're like, oh, really? You're thinking something great. Well, I wonder what I'm full of. It could be love, could be shit, could be, could,
I love that. I might take that. I like that.
there you go.
I wrote that down.
There we go.
Wonder
There
what
we
I'm
go.
full of.
Small talk can be fun if it's real, right?
Yes, for real.
I mean,
Yeah.
do people really want to know how you're doing? I mean, you're better
Yeah.
off just giving somebody a hug and, hey, you know,
I'm
nice
sorry,
to be
Julie.
here.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Mike. Can you quickly repeat the question? I might have something to add.
Sure. Where can you identify a thought loop that takes over you? Oh, I'm sorry. Where can you identify a thought loop that takes over your day, either when you wake up or a reaction to a person or environmental trigger?
I've been avoiding the area where my ex-boyfriend is, because I don't want it to be the reaction to the person. But Center City, where I live, Rittenhouse Square, is where I was with him. So I think I'll go with environment. I'm just giving him as example. It could be any other person. So walking past a restaurant, or you know, going in the same street that we were spending a lot of time together. This is what triggers. I think the environment is definitely the stronger um, ingredient here.
Yeah. Yeah. Ooh, that brought something up for me. I like have a stress response when I have to go to the city of Philadelphia, anywhere in the city of Philadelphia. I was born there, I was raised there. Lots of good times, but also lots of bad times. And so I like would sometimes say, I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait for all the people that I love to just not live here so I never have to come back here. And
Oh,
um, yeah, maybe I'll win the lottery and I'll get a piece of land and I'll move all of you guys to a lake somewhere in nice
I'm
weather.
here for
But
all of that.
I have a solution. I have a temporary solution until that happens. So I hear that if you have a bad memory uh, associated with a certain place, the secret is going back to that place and creating a good memory.
Yeah.
And then the good memory automatically will cancel the bad. Like it's just gonna be like bam. Like the bad one, obviously it will always be in the back of your mind, but then you're gonna lose that bitterness feeling, and then you'll be able to go back there again or be in the neighborhood again. So I did that quite a few. I'm not afraid of going back to places where it's associated with bad memories, because I know I have the ability to create new ones, and
Yeah.
it really works. It really does.
I try to control my expectations, either good or bad, because I've noticed that you'll go somewhere, and you have a great time. You go to New Orleans and you'll do Mardi Gras, and you had this fantastic time, and you're so excited to go back again. You go back again, and you got robbed. Like, well, what happened to that great time? If I just neutralize, I'm going to go and have no expectations, like none. I always seem to have a much better time. I appreciate everything that happens. Whereas when I get overly nervous about going somewhere, or scared, or um, overexcited, I always find it's diminished once I put all that expectation on that reality. And I just try to, I guess what is what Dispenza talks about, you just got to be in that center spot where you're allowing stuff to happen. And usually it's always for the better without my explanation of what could happen or what will happen. I find it works for me, and I enjoyed reading it in the book.
It is such a good point. Yes.
Yeah, because essentially, like what I'm feeling, right? It's not what is happening now. It's anchored in what happened in the past.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And he says
I,
something interesting, which is it becomes an addiction. So an addiction is something you are used to, and even if it's a bad, like the fear is something that comes back, and your body's addicted to that. So you recognize. And that was very interesting also to be like, well, I am addicted to my own misery. So it's a little like, so how do you change that?
I do think some environments, after leaving, for me, for example, the West, and kind of practicing a much slower time, I do feel since May of last year, when I came back from Spain, that I do not belong in the States. So that kind of like feeling to try to integrate back into the US and in an environment like Philadelphia, and then being able to move out again, and then still in the middle ground, finding safety in your body. I love the part where in the book becomes supernatural, like all you have is the present moment. So instead of walking around with this narrative, it gives me such agency and like supernatural abilities to be like, I am timeline hopping back into an environment where I will get to be slow. It's going to take as long as it takes, and I will be slow. Meaning, a record player meaning less technology, um, no social media, like my version of slow. And however long it takes for the community to adjust around me, it will take as long as it takes. And that's the safety, that kind of audacity to have that agency in your body and be like, this is what I want. This is what makes me safe. Even if the world doesn't get it, because life is so short to adjust to the society that we're programmed to be under. So I think the book gave robust examples. And one of them was like that chemical thing and even like the genetic changes. That was intense. I don't know, we're not there yet, but the DNA one, I was fascinated.
Yeah, that's he'll get into all that. If you ever followed the guy before, he's amazing that way. Eh, everything you've learned when you apply your mind to it, it's not true. You can change more than we think we can. It's kind of remembering, or even more than that, what he'll teach us is practicing to expect the change and making the reality the change that we want. I love reading his stuff. It creates possibilities, and to me, that's the magic of life is the possibilities.
Tara, did you have something to share?
Trying to unmute myself. No, just thinking about all the things that has been shared and how the environment can trigger um, feelings of anxiety or trauma response and how that can get ingrained and imprinted in our bodies. I was reflecting back on when my mother passed away suddenly, and this was like in the late '90s, so long ago. I wasn't able to drive past that hospital for at least 6 or 7 years without crying. And so I would have to avoid it because my body would just immediately respond to what I felt in that moment as I was trying to get to the hospital to get to her. And she was gone when I got there. And so it took years to get past that, to be able to drive past it, and then to be able to go in to visit somebody else and be able to be fine about being in that space. Um, but yeah, trauma can hold you for a really long time. Um, Certain things you can get past a little faster, but some things, those scars take a while to heal because it does really impact you physiologically. That's it.
Yeah, so true. I mean,
Uh,
yeah, I feel that about the
that's
house
good.
my mom lived in. I hate
Yeah.
driving down Tyson Avenue.
Hmm.
But yeah, and it's interesting that notion of time. It's like because time is also of essence in the part of the healing. But I guess the book also makes me realize that in that time there are things you can do to heal differently and to not let the body hold onto something you don't understand and you cannot master. So I think that's like so the time is still a healing factor, but we can do more work to help ourselves, I think, and that's
Yeah.
really reassuring.
Yeah. And I can even speak to that where my best friend um, 3 years ago started having strokes. And she had the first one in September. It was a small one, and then she had a bigger one in October. Um, and she's still here, but she's in a nursing home. She got into a nursing home like 6 months into it. And she's at the point where she's had so many strokes, and she's like 62 years old, but she can't talk. She can't move her body.
Whoa,
She's like
whoa.
basically a vegetable, right? And so a year into it, um, I had to start therapy because I was so stuck in everything, watching her battle with her body just working against her completely, that I wasn't able to think straight most of the time. And when she first had some physical issues, we had promised each other that if anything happened to us, we would take care of one another and we would be there for one another. So like I took that to heart. Um, and like I'm her medical power of attorney. The nursing home calls me for everything. We made the decision a year ago in April to put her on hospice care because she didn't want to go back and forth to the hospital anymore. And so just seeing her struggle that way, it made me stuck in trying to move forward with my business, with my personal life, just with everything, which is so
Wow.
hard. But I recognized that I was really battling. And so then I found myself a therapist to help navigate it so that it isn't so hard. It's still hard, but it's not as hard. Like I'm able to move forward in the other spaces and allow myself to go out with friends. Like I wasn't traveling, I wasn't doing anything because I was so afraid to be away. And I was like, I can't do that. I can't live like that because it was like I was just suffering with her because I wasn't moving forward in my life. So yeah, I do understand what what you're saying, that we have to learn how to take care of ourselves when those things happen. And, the first time losing my mom, I didn't know how to. It was too much. Um, but seeing my friend going through what she's going through, and when I say best friend, like we traveled together, we hung out together, we shared things that nobody else knows. That kind of friend. She became more of a sister than a friend, and so dealing with that has probably been one of the biggest struggles that I've had in the last like five years or so. Um, but having someone to talk to on a regular basis has helped me navigate it a little better and to not allow myself to fall by the wayside in the meantime.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that. I think
Yeah.
community and finding somatic therapy or whatever coping skills is something I wish I had at 18. Becoming a prisoner of grief and not having conversations about suicide education awareness, having a family that coped with the bar that was left as a family business, and then now currently struggling with the dynamics with a living parent that is still alive.
Sorry, I'm sorry, is this only me or there's noise that everybody hears?
There is a
Like a
noise.
hissing
Maybe
There's a
if
sound.
we
little
can,
There is.
feedback.
yeah.
There's an
Getting worse.
Like a
That's the
hissing
only reason
sound.
why I'm interrupting. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna, we can all mute and maybe that will help. Like we'll mute and unmute as we want to talk. Maybe that will help the noise.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, so I think having those safe spaces to talk about it sooner, especially before your frontal lobe is developed. Grief is never easy, but recently I'm looking into like a grief doula training to hold that kind of space because I want to give back in a way that I never received. And it will be very transformational to serve that way. I have that robust capacity because of my past. Um, but life literally stopped. And the thing is, life never stops for grief. And grief comes when you least expect it. It is the most inconvenient. Um, and it's even harder when you can't talk to the people that lived it with you ever. So having that kind of like somatic work, past life regression is a huge thing I'm into lately. I have my spirit family with me. And so that was like, I got to go into a portal and we're a team of 6. So, and I'm only 38 years old. So, and they're very close, each family member that's up there. I share this is very vulnerable, but I mean, I'm a different breed, not by choice. I wish they were all here in this physical realm and I could be having this convo right now. So I think there's a way to heal and give back. It is our duty to show up. I don't know where we resonate, but for sure, I believe it's healing.
I'm sorry. Um,
My.
I think there's showing up for others and there's showing up for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
what you shared about your best friend, what she's going through. First of all, I'm so sorry. I think that in a way um, you were just asking yourself, correct me if I'm wrong, how come it happened to her and not me? You know, it could easily happen to me. That's why it was so hard maybe to take yourself out of the situation. You were feeling the pain that wasn't yours to feel, it was hers. But you guys are so close. I'm only saying it not to um, because it happened to me with my mom. That's the only reason why I say it. When she got sick,
I took her pain upon me. So there's one thing to stop my life and I was in New York and I was just starting my real estate business and then she got sick and I just dropped everything and I came to Philly to take care of her. That's one thing. Another thing is to feel her pain so much that I got paralyzed. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't think. I couldn't live my life. She was just like in so much pain and the doctors weren't able to figure it out for 8 months. So I realized after that experience that I can show up for somebody, but it could never be on the expense of showing up for me. Never. Because I'm not doing anybody any good if I'm helping them, but it's hurting me, if that makes sense. So I really resonate with what happened to you with your best friend. I know it's not easy. And back then, I didn't even know what therapy is. So I'm happy for you that you kind of like thought about it and you're like, you know what, let me get help. So yeah, we always have to remember that we need first of all to show up from ourselves. We can never give from an empty glass. The glass should always be full before we give. And I didn't realize it till I was late in my 30s. I'm 39. I was always giving from an empty glass, and that what got me stuck in life. So yeah, that's
Mm.
for sure.
I, I think there's something really interesting about the book because about this notion that we take everything physically. And so what does it mean to show up for ourselves or for someone else? Is I don't like those words is the I or the we. But what is interesting with the book is that actually uh, it's the detangling of the body. So also love is about physical, is a touch. So the bodies when we love are very engaged. So we suffer from the body because there is that connection. So how do we unwire, detangle, and showing up for ourselves? I mean, also understanding that we are immagazining something in our body that is a natural thing, but how does it become not destructive and possess us or addictive? And so that I think that it really brought that to my consciousness of being like, wow, I just need to bring my consciousness to understand what this is doing, or to me, or to someone else. Even if I come in the room with anger, that's going to change the room. So that was really powerful to be like, wow, this is the key. So showing up for, I do think that we need to show up for all of it, but by being conscious, then we are present in the moment to others and to us in some ways. So that's really, that's so radical and really helpful.
Yeah. Aaron, do you want to share anything?
I don't have anything very um, powerful to say tonight. I really am enjoying everybody's sharing, and I'm just here to kind of listen.
Mm-hmm. Was there anything that stood out to you in chapter 2?
I definitely agree with um, just stop fast and needing to just that it's you're like fighting. You're just it's going straight into survival mode, repeating behaviors that don't serve. So I like what someone else had said that basically if you kind of lower expectations for the future, someone always told me that like you'll never be disappointed.
Mm.
Don't you don't know what's to
Mhm.
come. What was the one line in the book that I liked that he said? Basically, like the future just it has yet to disappoint, or something like that. I think I read,
Mhm.
but
I think you read The Unknown Has Never Let Me Down. It's before the section of calling your energy back.
exactly what the quote was.
I have
But
it highlighted. Yeah.
yeah, I thought that was pretty powerful. I like that.
Can you say it again, Adriana? What was the quote again?
The unknown has never let me down.
The
It's right
unknown.
before calling your energy back. When he starts to get into the beta, low range, mid
Yeah.
range, and all the funky waves that are in our beautiful brains.
How about you, Grandma? You have anything to share?
Well, all this has brought back a lot of memories. But I lost my daughter, and I lost my girlfriend the day after, and then my mother died a year later, and all this has been building up in me. And I try my best not to let it get to me when it does. I try my best not to think about it, but it just I pray every morning and I pray before I go to bed, just so I can be able to sleep and just live. I read the book and it just brought back so many things. And it hurts to lose the loved ones, your best friend, and your loved one, my mother and my daughter. It just hurts. I have Julie, I have everybody else, but it's not the same as losing that's, I felt so empty when my mom left me. And then when my daughter died, both my daughters are gone. And reading the book just brought back so many memories of things that were in the past. And I take my walks in the morning and I just try not to focus on it. But that's all it brings back memories. And I try to wear headphones so I listen to music or something. I just sometimes, I don't know which way to turn sometimes. And I don't know, sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night and like I start crying for no reason. And these chapters have brought all that out.
Yeah. I want to just give this woman her flowers because I don't know that I could ever have the capacity to experience as much loss as she has, to lose both of her children, both of her parents, two of her siblings, best friends. Like, she's experienced so much loss, and if you could see her on a day to day, you would never know. You would never know in her daily life that she experienced as much loss as she has. And like, she's a source of like just being present. And I don't know, she makes us laugh and she's so helpful. Like, on the day to day, you would just never know the amount of pain that this woman carries. And I just want to like honor you for being so strong, because I don't think I would be in my right mind after all that you've been through. Yeah. I mean, thank you for being willing to read this book. I think when we first chose this book and I was kind of like going through what it was about, I felt like it would be good for the both of us to take this journey together.
Mm-hmm.
And you could at some point be reading this and say, I'm not doing it. Like, I'm not gonna do it, right? Like, it's too hard.
To that point a couple of
And
times.
so I just want to like thank you for being willing, to see what's on the other side of you, seeing what this could offer. And when you can able to identify these things, because part of the work is awareness. You being willing to become aware and then do something about it, and understanding the power that you have in that moment to change, whether it's your mindset, whether it's what you're holding on to, what you're allowing yourself to suffer through. And there is power in understanding that in the present moment, while in the past we've experienced this loss, while in the past our family has this trauma, in the present moment you are well. In the present moment, you are capable of so much. In the present moment, when you wake up every day, you have so much love that is given to you, right? So in the present moment, we're not suffering. So how can we let go of the past so that we can let go of the suffering? And I know that's a journey that's not easy for anyone, but if you're willing to do it, like, there's this level of bravery for you to even just say, okay, I'm going to get up and I'm going to try to figure this out. I'm going to try to move forward. there's a level of bravery in just making the decision alone. So thank you to you, to all of you, for being willing to just say, yeah, let's take the journey and see what happens. Let's read this book and let's take this journey together and see what happens.
And
Yeah,
can I just say to Grandma that your grief is very real, and we
Thank
respect
you.
that, and it's okay to feel how you feel,
Mm-hmm.
right? When you have those moments where you feel like you need to cry, cry.
Mm-hmm.
That's an emotion,
That's why I take
right? Just like
walks.
laughter and joy, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so you have to allow yourself to feel those things
Mm-hmm.
and go through them, because you're still bringing joy to this world, and you're
Mm-hmm.
still being loved on by your family. We all love you.
Mm-hmm.
And so I read somewhere that grief is just love with nowhere to go.
Right.
Uh, you don't have a place for it,
Mm-hmm.
and so it comes out in the form of tears, and that's okay, right? You're allowed to feel that. You're okay. You're okay feeling that, as long as that's not the only thing that we're doing,
Mm-hmm.
right? Allowing it to just take us over. But when you feel those feelings, let those feelings out. It is
Mm-hmm.
okay. And I just personally want to thank you for sharing that and being open
Thank
to
you.
sharing all the loss that you have experienced, and know that you are deeply loved,
Thank you.
deeply loved.
I've also buried a lot of people in my life: a mother, a father, a sister, a brother, a best friend, and a mentor. And I agree with what everybody's saying. The places that you bury people sometimes are traumatic to go by, but as you experience it or as you evolve, and I love the fact that we've talked about a lot of things like past life regressions. Believe it or not, I'm on that path right now. We are much more than what we see in front of us, because now we're talking about, we're reading about this
Mm-hmm.
energy. And if it helps you, you didn't lose anybody. Nobody went away. You can still
Mm-hmm.
talk to these people. You can still feel them. You can still love them. The trauma and the tragedy is something that we have to just get beyond, because our purpose is to be here for people, even our best friends, even our loved ones. And as hard as it is, it's not supposed to take us down. It's supposed to elevate them up, because it's something they're going through. And I feel honored sometimes. Like, I was honored to be beside my mother when she passed.
Mm-hmm.
It was great. It was horrific when my father passed. I was 17, and it was traumatic. But there's so many other people. Excuse me. I had a mentor who I became best friends with and involved spiritually. And on vacation, he had a swelling of the brain, and he ended up in the hospital. They put him in hospice. And by the time I got to him, I didn't know his family. Everybody said, well, you can't talk to him because he doesn't know anybody, doesn't recognize anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And I walked in the room where there was doctors and his kids that I didn't know. And he looks over at me and goes, oh, thank God, Mike, you're here. And
Mm-hmm.
everybody looked at me, and I walked over. I'm like, Ned, how you doing? He goes, these people were trying to kill me. And I looked around, and they were like, how do you know this man? I'm like, oh, we're good friends. And they're like, he doesn't recognize anybody. And they wanted me to talk to him. And I said to him, what's the problem? He said, well, his brain swelled and yada, yada, yada. And it was real tough because, he had two kids there, and he didn't recognize his own kids, but he recognized me. There was a reason that happened. It wasn't for me to understand. But even when they put him in hospice and he was worried about finance and money, and they're giving him, weeks to live. And then finally one day, he was telling his girlfriend's daughter, I got to get out of here. I got to pay bills. And I looked at him. I said, Ned, you don't have to worry about that anymore. He looked up. He goes, no, Mike. I'm like, no, you don't have to worry about it. He goes, all right. Very next day, I went to go visit him. As I'm driving up, I heard this voice in my mind. He's already gone. And I just tried to block it out. And when I got there, he was gone. But it's like, I don't know the reason for everything, but I know there is a reason. And we all have purpose. And we're all in this journey together. So You know, when people are sad or happy, you celebrate, you mourn, you do what you can do. But as the book says, stay as present as you can. You'll be the most effective. And to me, it's an honor to be in people's lives. I mean, that's what living is to me. You know, when your best friend's going through something and their health is failing, don't take on the negative aspect. Celebrate their life, whatever it is. You know, make them feel as good as they can be in the situations they have to deal with. And that's all I can do in my life.
You know, I did want to mention, I do love that those tears were shared. So thanks for being vulnerable, because I would love my mom to be able to sit with her. She's in her 60s and talk about grief. But the language in the community, the Latino community, is very much um, move on. It's time. Let's go. And I have a pickle with move on with grief, because you don't move on. We're all in the same realm. It's
Yeah.
just that, like, now being able to hold space, as past life regression was mentioned, I access that portal. I'm with my dad. My dad hasn't communicated with me since I was 17. So I don't know if all my goosebumps. Never once, never once. So now that I'm in that source, and it's good. It's not like I'm this witch, or that it's bad magic or whatever. There is no magic. There is God, and this ability to, like, tap back and forth. So to have that kind of, like, I wouldn't even say courage, but just like surrender. Surrender is not passive, but to let go, and, like, the fact that you're reading the chapters, and as Julie mentioned, like, hey, if it's too much, it is not too much. You are living. Stay with us. Gently stay with us. We will hold you, whatever it needs. And once I get my certifications, I can help out. You know, like, I think there's a beautiful magic to have elders. I can't wait to be an elder, and I don't have children. I want to leave a legacy. It's all I think about. So it's like, I we need this. We need life experience. And grief is not cookie cutter. It will never be. But it doesn't mean it has to paralyze us the way it has in the past. And in moments it will. But if we don't get to explore it, it just, what a disservice it will be to be isolated when you're going through all of this. I can never imagine what you're going through. But it's like, it's nice to just look grief in the eye and be like, we've been there, but now we have the present moment, like Julie said.
Yeah.
So you have your magic. Hold on to that present moment. And crying is power. Crying is releasing.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Hi, Shanae. Do you want to share anything, gorgeous?
Hi guys, thank you all for just being, such vulnerable and heartfelt moments throughout your lives and what you're going through right now. And I'm reminded by the proverb that we are carved by sorrow so we can contain more joy. And that sorrow from missing our loved ones is because we experience so much joy with them and we love them. And the sorrow that we're going through right now will make, the good times with our loved ones, going forward, just all that more meaningful when you see the people that you have around you. So, yeah, it's if everything was bland and predictable, we would not know joy. We wouldn't have the deep belly laughs. We wouldn't have be able to cry all our tears.
Can you say that quote again?
We are carved by sorrow so we can contain more joy.
I love that. I love that so much. Wow. So here we are at 7:30, guys, and we just did one question. That was just one question. I just want to say thank you for the vulnerability. this was really beautiful and really precious, and I really am grateful for this community and to take this journey together. Um, so we're good to get ready to close out. I want to honor everyone's Sunday evening. Um, and I hope that with you all, I hope that we're all feeling the same level of love and joy and gratitude in this space. Um, any last things before we do our closing meditation?
I want to invite everybody to reflect since this was really heavy and it could get stored in our bodies. Certain things that were mentioned could have triggered folks. I'm aware of that. So I want to be very kind enough to make sure. The question number 2 was, can you invite a small ritual or experiment to honor your brain and invite presence? So please, I invite you to do that this week or right after this, after Julie guides us, because some things might have gotten stored in your brain, and I want us to feel safe always in this space.
And maybe we can share the ritual we came up with later on the group
Yeah.
to inspire each other.
Yeah. One of the integration practice or the suggestion for the integration practice was a 5-minute daily stillness practice focused on breath and sensation. So sitting, seated, and emphasizing on your sensory awareness. And it doesn't have to be 5 minutes. It could be 1 minute of just silence and you just focusing on the things you're feeling, on the things you're hearing. Like, what does it feel like in your mouth? Like, focusing on that. So, even 30 seconds, I don't care if you just take a moment of time in your day to just tune into your body and into your senses. And I loved the key words that we pulled out too, like the now, the unknown, and awareness. So if we can take those things into our daily life, the now, the unknown, and our complete awareness. All right, guys. I'm glad we're off home and we can all close our eyes now. So let's all settle into stillness and close our eyes or lower your gaze downward, whatever feels the most comfortable to you. And let's just take a big deep breath in and sigh it out. Allow your body to be completely supported by whatever is beneath you, by the earth beneath you. Clearing your mind with nothing to do, nothing to fix, just a moment to rest and to feel your breath. Bringing total awareness to your breath without changing it, just noticing it. Feel the inhale arrive and the exhale release. With each exhale, gently unhook your attention from the past. No memories to revisit, no stories to replay. With each inhale, release the pull of the future. No planning, no anticipating. There's only this moment, and this moment is enough. Begin to sense the space around your body, the space in front of you, behind you, above you, below you. Let your awareness expand outward as if you are floating in openness. Now, start to gently draw your attention inward. Notice the stillness beneath your breath, the quiet awareness that is watching. Rest here within, alert, present, and awake. No identity, no role, just awareness, just observing. If a thought arises, let it pass like a cloud moving through the sky. You return again and again to the now. In this present moment, energy is freed. Possibility opens. The body listens. The mind softens. Rest in this space for a few breaths longer, fully here, fully present. When you're ready, begin to gently return, wiggling your toes, wiggling your fingers, carrying this awareness with you through the rest of your week.
Thank you, Julie, for leading that. That was a really good close.
You are so, so very welcome. Wow. I wasn't
I wanna
expecting
do it.
all this.
I have one silly question that might have been asked before I joined because I was shoveling snow. Next week is Bad Bunny. I'm not gonna pretend like that's not the best thing ever performing on Super Bowl. So I'm
Oh,
not
what
gonna
time
not.
is that?
So anybody know? That's my question because we might have to move the time. I'm not missing him.
I'm not
Ice is
missing him
around,
either. I'm not
and,
missing him
and I'm
either.
gonna watch.
All right, we
Bunny
have to
in
figure that
traffic.
out. All right, guys. We may or may not move book club
Or we
time.
do a watch party. We do a watch party and we screen share it.
All right.
So like just like we could do it before, but just like maybe a little earlier.
Okay.
So we'll put something on the chat.
Let's figure that out. I'm pretty sure my husband knows the answer to that question. Okay. We'll figure out. Yeah, you're right. I didn't think about that. Super Bowl
Ice was
Sunday.
parked.
I mean, I stopped.
Yeah.
You know, my team is not there, so I didn't really care. But you're right. Bad Bunny is very important.
And especially in this moment, the political climate, and with Ice being parked a block from me
Wait.
last week,
Yeah.
and if you speak Spanish, you're being stopped. I'm not gonna like not support.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
game
I'm
starts
actually
at
curious,
6:30.
Julie. Who's
The
your
game
team?
starts at 6:30.
The game kickoff is at 6:30.
So what? So does anybody know
So
football here? Does anybody know how
And
long
it's probably
the
an
halves
hour
are?
after that. Then.
halftime probably would be like an hour or so into it.
So we must end at 7:30.
Oh no,
Yeah.
I'm teaching at 7:30. Why? Why did they put a class on that day?
You're teaching?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll be watching Bad Bunny because that would be great.
Yes.
Fine, I can do.
But you're
whatever, yeah.
teaching. But you're also teaching at 7:30.
7:30 to 9:30.
Oh, okay. Emmanuel's a theater teacher. Okay.
What about doing it earlier than 6:30?
Okay. Anybody opposed to 5:30? 5 o'clock?
Let's just watch.
5 to 6?
Both good for me.
Yeah.
Okay. Auntie, are you good with 5?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep.
Aaron? Okay. There it is. 5 o'clock on next Sunday. Let's go.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you,
Wait,
everybody.
wait.
Oh, wait. We have questions.
Closing screenshot.
Okay.
Closing screenshot. Aaron. Oh, you wiped your hair. No, keep gonna do it one more time. Okay, one. There.
Did it? Send it to me, please. Or send in the
I
group.
know.
Send in the chat.
Okay, you send it to the group.
Thank you.
Okay, everyone have a fantastic week.
Mwah. Happy
Thank you.
Sunday. Love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.